very casually, like, you know, nonchalant, like, we're not in any hurry here, you know, just take our time, just, you know, just, was it the road slippery out there? So did it get plowed well, or what? What's the story?
Trying to drive carefully and methodically, like I'm advising people to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's it like out there? The road's getting better? I mean, the parking lot here looks as
The
bare
sun is
pavement.
shining.
Yep.
The snow is melting. Never fast enough, but it's melting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Your parking lot needs a little work.
Yeah.
It appears, Barry.
So the streets in New Bedford looks better. They look better than the parking lot here?
Most do.
Yeah?
For sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, we're looking bare pavement here. So the streets in New Bedford are bare pavement?
What's that? That's not bare pavement right there.
Well, it's a little patch.
Oh, come on.
Small little patch. I mean, a lot of puddles out there. It is getting mild, though, so the snow is melting fairly quickly.
It is.
And that's good.
It is. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
So we're out of snow mode for now, right?
No, we're still in snow mode.
Still in snow mode?
They're still mopping up. They're still working. They're still clearing schools.
More coming?
I was driving around the city both last night after I got back into town, which is a whole story. But yesterday afternoon and last night, I did a lot of driving around the city to check out how things are going, and as well as this morning. And I think they're chipping away. They've got some scraping to do on some of the major roads, but there's a lot of salt and magnesium chloride underneath that, so that should come up with, you know, the sunshine, and so it'll be better as the day goes on. And they're pushing some corners in and clearing passages over to our schools, so they're working hard. They worked, you know, our crews at our DPI crews worked from early in the morning to a little after midnight last night, and some stayed on through the night. Our DPI Commissioner Jamie Pont, and I talked to him about an hour ago, still hadn't gone to bed yet. So
wow.
Yeah, they're working away, and you know, fortunately the temperatures are going to be up in the 40s in the next couple of days, so that'll help with the melt, which is good news.
So do you ride around on the plow? Are you one of those mayors that rides in the plows out there?
No, but I do. I drive around to eyeball things, right? That's, as I see it, that's part of my job. It's not to get behind a plow and be, you know, put on a show, for as some mayors have done, and not here necessarily, but no. But I do go around and take a look and have opinions that I share. Yeah, which is so ultimately I manage the thing. That's why I came back, you know, yesterday. You know, after a long day of planes, trains, and automobiles to be part of it, because it's to oversee
so much
it.
fun, right? No,
it's not that. It's look, you got to take these things seriously, and I do take them very seriously. I mean, yesterday, you know, I was in Austin, Texas, and the struggled on Monday to find a way to get back home. The closest airport that was open was JFK in New York, so that's where I flew yesterday, and then I took a train to so there was no flying into Providence or Boston from there, and Amtrak was closed, so I took a train to the car rental facility, and then took an extra shuttle to the Enterprise car rental facility from there, and rented a car and drove my car to the Green Airport, and then got into my own personal car from there and drove back here in time to continue to oversee things. But I was in touch all day long with our police chief and DPI commissioner and a number of others to make sure that that things were getting done, because, you know, when you get a snowstorm like this, it can be very disruptive to the city. So, you know, so all the appearances you see of me, you know, on radio, including on radio, but also on social media and on TV, are meant to push information out to people and let them know what's going on, so that their lives can stop being disrupted as soon as possible.
Trip to Austin, business or pleasure?
The U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that ended pretty quickly. I cut that short and got out of Dodge, but so maybe someday I'll go back there. But in any event, yeah, no, it's you know, snowstorms. Yeah, snowstorms can be very frustrating for folks, especially seniors, and, you know, we take great pains to do our snow removal very well.
So we've had 3 nor'easters in the last 3 weeks, and we've had a lot of trees come down. And
Yep.
we've had a lot of trees loosened and branches loosened and everything else. What's the condition out there? I mean, have we lost? I mean, how many trees have we lost? Do we know at this point? And where's the heaviest damage been?
Yeah, I mean, for trees on city-owned properties, I don't know. We've probably lost a couple of dozen. There have been trees that have gone down in our parks. A few street trees have gone down. Most of the trees that seem to have gone down are on the sides of highways. If you drive up and down 140, especially, or 195, you'll see like large swaths of pine trees that have just been blown over. That last storm we had last week was a doozy. Compared to other communities, New Bedford did okay with power outages. I shouldn't put it in the past tense. There are still people without power right now. I think we had about 300 last night. I think it's come down a little bit from there, but there are, in our suburbs to the west, to the east, there's a higher percentage of people without power. So we tend to do a little bit better in the city than they do in other places. But we look at vulnerabilities. I mean, last week we had a lot of power outages around Sassaquin. We've had some more this time around, but last week we had power outages at 3 nursing homes up around Sassaquin, which is a little scary, especially when you have people on dialysis and are hard to move. So we're looking at ways in which that can be combated. It would be, great if we had, I talk a lot, especially at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, about microgrids, which are basically these sort of self-contained areas where, either through battery storage or some other means of generation, you can light a place back up without too much trouble. And so, up around Sassaquin, we do get a lot of outages, and that may be something that the city has to look at in the future.
All right. So in terms of overall damage, I mean, we fared fairly well with the storm. Property damage,
there's still
personal damage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people without power, and if you lose your power, it is a big inconvenience. But by and large, we've done okay. But it's a work in progress, because guys are out there working right now. There's still a lot of work to do on a number of roads. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, New Bedford schools are closed. They were closed yesterday. Good idea, you think, keep the kids home today?
Yeah. It's we open city offices, but the superintendent makes the call on the schools, and I think it was the right one. I think most of the school districts in the area are closed. Voc Tech closed. And the standards of safety are higher with kids, in part because, there are a lot of kids who walk to school, and, there are buses that have to get in and out of very cramped spaces. And so we apply a heightened level of sensitivity to opening schools up. You just have to. Had
there been school today, it would have been our kids would have been involved in the walkout, national walkout. You got roughly 3,000 walkouts from Hawaii to Maine happening today. Kids walking out of school. Very well organized effort by a number of different groups out there. We received a notice earlier in the week that New Bedford's 3 middle schools and New Bedford High School will be commemorating the tragic events that took place at Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Now, obviously, that's not happening in New Bedford today because kids are out anyway. Each of the schools conducted planning discussions with selected staff and students to address the recent call for students to walk out of their schools on that day as a way to make a statement to the public and to government officials about school safety. Do you support that?
Yeah.
You think it's a good idea for the kids to walk out of class? I mean, we're doing that well that our kids can take a morning and just walk out of class?
Well, you didn't say a walkout in New Bedford. That's not what was going on in New Bedford.
That's what it is. It's a national walkout. That's what it was called.
That's what it's called nationally. There are kids here in New Bedford. They were going to do something different, which was
they were going to walk to the athletic field and form a number 17. How does that help them with their MCAS?
So in other schools, there was a walkout of school. Period. Then we didn't want to do that in New Bedford. The students didn't want to do that, and I think they struck the appropriate balance between making a statement about school safety and just plain leaving school. that's we don't want kids to take off from school.
I know, but you can put a lipstick on a pig. It's the same thing. If the kids are leaving classroom,
So they lose.
to go stand in the field and
So they
make
lose
a number 17.
one class. Big deal.
It's a half day. It would have been a half day today. Teacher.
No.
That's according to the school department's release right here. School department release says Nemandan, Keith, and Roosevelt have a shortened day on March 14th due to professional development sessions scheduled for teachers.
Yeah.
So they would have been out in the afternoon anyway. So they're going to walk out of school in the morning and go across the street, make a number 17, and
to lose 1 hour. Big deal, Barry. I mean, big deal. So, you know, it's. I mean, I think it's pathetic that we live in a society where you have 17 kids slaughtered in a high school.
Well, we all do, but what about after school?
Let me finish. So, and you have elected leaders, especially in Washington, who don't do anything about it. Wherever you stand on gun issues or mental health, I mean, there is sclerosis in Washington, and I think it's great that you have kids who are willing to stand up and say something about it. A lot of this is coming from students. It's not coming from the adults saying, "Hey, kids, let's go, you know, make a political statement." I mean, we spend time, including on this show, lamenting how young people are so checked out of politics these days, and you know, here it is. They're actually, you know, motivated to do something. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but actually it was adults. The Women's March Youth Empower organization sending out toolkits to schools all across the country.
Yeah, so at New Bedford High School, which is the high school in our school district, of which I am chair, there were students that came forward and said that we should do it. We should do
right,
this.
in conjunction with groups like Peace First, Rise to Run, Teen Vogue,
I don't know.
League of New York
Barry,
City.
I have no idea who those people are. All I can tell you is that at New Bedford High School, there were kids who came forward and said we should do this.
Okay. I just don't think it's a good idea. That's my opinion. I'm asking you about it because I think
I'm giving you my opinion.
As a parent and a taxpayer, I'd rather have the kids stay in school and learn math.
As a parent of students and as a taxpayer and as mayor, I think it's great that kids are standing up and saying, you know what, you know, this stuff shouldn't be tolerated in American society. And if that entails the loss of a single hour of school, well, you know, that's to my mind, that's not
why couldn't this be done after
not
school?
a huge cost.
Why couldn't this have been done after school?
Because it doesn't get the attention that it wouldn't get the attention that it deserves. By the public, by people in the media like you. I mean, that's whose attention they're trying to draw. Obviously, it's a bigger thing if it's a walkout out of school, right? If you stopping the day and saying time out, let's you know, this is important, then I think it gets people's attention. It's a means of emphasizing the importance of doing something about a real problem, a persistent problem in American society.
So is this going to be rescheduled?
I don't know, Barry. I've been digging out of a snowstorm, so I suspect they will reschedule it at some point, at an appropriate point where it's not disruptive to instruction in the classroom, and they'll take it from there. I think they struck the right balance.
All right. A lot of folks want to, the phone just blew up when we started talking about this. So why don't we just grab a few phone calls on this and we'll switch to some other topics too. 508-996-0500 is the phone number. Let's go to the phones, and you're on the air with the mayor. Go ahead.
How you doing?
Good.
You missed the school committee meeting the other night.
I did. The first regularly scheduled school committee meeting I have missed in 6 years, Michael.
No, maybe it wasn't a school committee meeting. It was a special meeting.
No, it was a regular meeting on Monday.
Yeah, that one on Monday. But yeah, it was a regular meeting. Okay. The discussion was on what the. I know there's something in place for an active shooter. There's nothing in place for the students, like they have a fire drill or some other drills that they go through a couple times a year or once a month. But there isn't anything in place. The students don't know what to do if there's an active shooter in their building. But yet the school committee, not all the school committee members, there was one in particular, I won't mention his name, but you know who it is, good friend of mine, who's a very respectful person, has 3 kids in the system, just like you have kids in the system.
All right, Mike, get to the point, though.
Wouldn't you want, you know, the school committee doesn't want this, but wouldn't you as a parent want to know what your child's going to do when there is an active shooter or potential for an active shooter, and have some kind of drill, like you do your fire drills. Wouldn't you have that in place? The school committee said it would traumatize. And most of the school...
but they do. All right, Mike, we get your point. Most of the schools have drills already, don't they?
They've had some instruction along those lines. I mean, again, it's another area where you have to balance, the faculty certainly needs to have the training, and they've been doing that in the school system, right? And I think for kids, especially the younger ones, what they have to know is do what your teacher tells you to do, right? I think that's the most important thing under those circumstances. And the teachers, there has to be. We've done the training. With faculty, my take on it is that the training of faculty has to become regularized. The police department plans on doing that, but we really have to institutionalize it. Just because, look, we're in this new reality now that requires it.
But I mean, it's been going on a while. My kids are both out of school. I can remember when my youngest was at Pulaski, they were having drills and hiding in the closets and everything else. And
yeah, I mean, so it's not. If I wouldn't be averse to that, I certainly defer to the experts, which are in this case both the educators as well as the police, on what level of bluntness you use with kids. Back in the 50s, kids used to go through nuclear fallout drills where they had to
in the 60s, I did.
Go underneath the desk and all that, right?
Oh yeah, we went downstairs with the bomb
shelter.
Like that would
do any good if a nuclear bomb went off.
Yeah, same thing with the bomb shelter. You go downstairs with Mr. Simmons, the janitor, and we'll all die together.
Right. So So I think some of this is a work in progress. I wasn't part of that discussion the other night, but it's certainly something that has to remain on the school system's front burner.
All right, 508-996-0500. You're up next with the mayor. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. And, I heard John Oliveira had a great idea. And I can't see any reason why you wouldn't want to train these kids for an active shooter. If they're strong enough to go out and take the day. Of course, they didn't walk out today because they had the day off, so I guess it wasn't fun. And it was organized, and for the walkout, everybody respects the 17 kids that got killed, and don't try to say different. But
I'm sorry. What's the question?
Yeah, what's the point? Get to the point.
The question is, it seems pretty poor, and it seems like you're against John Oliveira, and I think I'd have a little bit more respect for him because the guy is a veteran, and I can read between the lines. So the question is, why wouldn't you back up the guy on his idea to train the kids if there is an active shooter? I think it seems pretty bad that the school committee wouldn't go along with the guy. There's a problem in that school committee, and apparently you don't want anybody with a different idea. It's like communism.
All right, we got the point. Let me let the mayor respond to it. So is this something personal between you and Oliveira on this issue?
No, I just told you I don't. I mean, I want to see what the police department and the educators have to say about what's appropriate. They know they are experts in relevant fields, and
you haven't ruled it out at this point. You just want to.
No, I just said that to the last caller.
All right, 508-996-0500. You're up next with the mayor. Go ahead.
Yes, and how you doing there?
Hey, Al.
How you doing, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, one day at a time.
What's your question there, Al?
My question is, can you have the DPI or whoever's in charge of the sand barrels to clean them out? Because people have been putting garbage in there.
I saw that, yeah.
No. Well, they're not. Yeah. They're not garbage barrels.
Correct.
Yes.
They're sand barrels with sand in them.
With sand in them.
And I got news to tell you. When I go and walk up County Street to the CYO, which I'm going to do today, if they have games there, I noticed a barrel on County Street, north of St. James Church, that has garbage in it. And I said to myself, why on earth would people be that stupid to put garbage in a sand barrel? ridiculous. I mean, people can get sand out of the barrel. There's garbage there.
Right. That is happening. I've seen the pictures on social media, and I guess it could be dangerous too. You never know what you're sticking your hand into, right? When you're putting it in there. But people are actually throwing garbage into the sand barrels. I mean, that's,
yeah, they're not garbage cans. Yeah.
No.
Whatever. I mean,
people are people.
Yeah. So we'll get on those. I appreciate Al's pointing them out to us.
All right, you're next on WBSM. Good afternoon. Hello? No. All right, that's always a cue for a break. Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll do some more with the mayor. Mayor's having a lot of fun today, right? This is not a... Never mind. Let's take a break. We'll come right back with your questions for the mayor. 508
I'm always having fun.
100. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the program. It's Midweek with the mayor. The mayor is here. Thanks to everybody who filled in for me yesterday. Had the day off for the snowstorm. And you get to be a certain age, they tell you stay home when it snows because you're getting away. You know, so stay
is that
home.
what it is?
So they told me to stay home yesterday. So all the young guys came in and took over, and they did a great job, and I want to thank them very much. So
that's good.
All right, 508-996-0500, a loaded phone bank. So let's get right back to your calls. You're up next with the mayor on WBSM. Go ahead. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Hey, that exit 14 there on 195 Tenement Street.
Mm-hmm.
You come down that place is a mess, boy. It's all overgrown, and especially when you come down at the bottom, you have a school there, right, where the stop sign is there.
Yeah.
That corner there is a total, like a hobo jungle.
It is, and we've told the state about that state property. and we've told them about it, and they've done nothing, and maybe we'll just have to conquer it. We'll have to take it over.
I think we got to push a little bit more because that would solve some problems immediately in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a DOT out in Taunton, right? Isn't that their
yeah, it's
highway
a state
department?
highway.
Yeah.
It sure is. No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
That should be leveled and wood chipped in. Maybe put a couple of little park benches in there, make it look nice. I think that's a. Don't forget, we're a gateway city too, and that's an exit that comes right into the heart of the city.
It does. It does. No, I can't disagree with you. It's a mess in there, and if the state doesn't do something about it, then we'll have to take it into our own hands.
Appreciate you calling, my friend. Is that something the sheriff and his inmates can do?
Well, they can, but it's all overgrown as well, right? So they go in, they'll pick up litter and stuff,
right.
And but
not sure we want to give them sickles and stuff.
yeah,
probably not a good idea.
And, yeah.
Not a good idea. No. Maybe some paper cutter scissors or whatever. 508-996-0500. You're up next on WBSM. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi Barry. I got a question for the mayor.
Go right ahead.
Administratively, this is probably a state item, but on southbound 140, Mr. Mayor, you got people who go down the center lane at high speed, which is supposed to be a left turn lane to go into Kempton, and instead go straight ahead into Brownell Avenue and nearly sideswipe all the people who are waiting in line to go straight forward into Brownell. Now, you got 4 lights there for 3 lanes, and none of them is labeled as to what lane the light applies to. But I've seen this repeatedly where you're going to go into Brownell and all of a sudden you got somebody coming through your side door at high speed who didn't turn left. And I was wondering if there's anything that can be done at that intersection either to improve it or to enforce it. Because quite frankly, a cruiser at Metropolitan could pick up these people and be handing them tickets about 10 people an hour.
Yeah, we can take a look at it. It is a state road and state highway, and it's ideally it's in theory it's supposed to be the state's responsibility. But like with the last call, it's one of those items that we have to take on our own, and we'll if it concerns the safety of our residents, then we'll do just that. But we'll have
the point where the infraction occurs, of course, is in New Bedford. It's on Brownell because that's where the people ignoring the left turn lane cut off the people who are going straight. But it's a very dangerous situation, and it takes you totally by surprise when people do that.
So you're saying there are people in the left turn lane who are going straight, or the other way around, who are not?
Who are in the left turn lane go straight into Brownell and cut off the people who are in the proper lane. And in fact, some of them even fake it. Some of them put on the left turn signal deliberately and then go straight, and it is very dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, good. Well, we'll flag that for the police.
Thank you very much. You're up next on WBSM with the mayor. You got a lot of calls today.
That's good.
Go ahead.
Hello, Barry.
Hi, how are you?
Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hello, Mayor Mitchell. I just wanted to thank you for the call that I got the other day about my daughter.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Donna.
Yeah, I know, but she is coming along. She had an 11-hour open heart surgery, and she's going to be fine.
Good.
But it was scary, and that's why I haven't called in to the radio station or even you, Barry, to send you that email. Right now, I'm not going to be able to run for the state office, but maybe the next time around, because my daughter needs me.
Yep, you have to attend to that, Donna.
Amen to that. And I just wanted to thank you for that call. And Barry, you're doing a great job. We missed you yesterday.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Donna. Good luck.
Thanks,
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
You're up next on WBSM with the mayor. Go ahead.
Hi. I was just wondering.
I need you to get on your phone. Speakerphones don't work too good on the radio.
Oh, sorry. I was wondering.
No, I still need you to get on your phone. The speakerphone doesn't work well on the radio. Pick up your phone. Hello? All right, call back when you figure it out. You're next on WBSM. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to tell the mayor that in front of City Hall, if you're standing in front of the City Hall, just to the right of the walkway there, there's a break in the road. It's not a big pothole, but it's a break. It's about 14 inches long, and there's a lip. And about 3 weeks ago, I had a very bad fall in the middle of Pleasant Street.
Ooh.
My toe caught the lip of the brake, and luckily the SUV that was coming, the guy saw me fall, and he was coming slow enough to stop. And he got out of the truck when he realized that I couldn't get up.
Are you okay?
And I just wanted to ask the mayor if somebody could fill that in. Maybe I travel that often, at least because heading to the bus terminal, I cross that street often.
This is on Pleasant Street?
Yes,
Yep.
if you're standing facing City Hall, it's just to the right of that crosswalk.
Okay.
It's that break in the road. And I hurt myself pretty badly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I try to be mindful that it's there, but some days you're hurrying for the bus, and which is what I was doing that day, and I didn't know it was there. And in fact, the next time I was downtown, I had to look to see what caused me to fall because I couldn't figure it out.
Were you okay?
Maybe.
Are you okay?
I'm still sore. I am still sore, and the black and blue is going away, but it's taking its time. I'm 66.
Wow. Well, you be careful out there, and
Sorry, sorry you had to go through that. We'll take a look over there. It may have been filled already, but if not, we'll get to it.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
up next with the mayor on WBSM. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing rather well. Mr. Mayor, you get a lot of complaints and a lot of issues that need to be resolved, but I just wanted to commend you on the job that you are doing, and it's always good to hear something good that you're doing, and I just want to commend you on the job that you're doing, you and your staff, and I just want to commend you.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's, sometimes you hear complaints, and that tends to drown out other stuff, and, I always think that I think it's important to address, the stuff that comes up, whether it's, in the last call, an issue with in the street that caused the woman to fall. I feel badly about that. And she's entitled to have streets that are walkable in the city. And I see it as part of my job to make sure that happens. And I also see it as part of my job to move the whole city all at once in the right direction so that we have good opportunities for our residents and people can live a good life in New Bedford. And so it's you've got to do both parts of the job, and we work really hard at it.
I think that you will.
Appreciate you calling, my friend. Let me take a very quick break. A lot of folks want to chat with the mayor today. The lines are still cooking over here, so stay right there. Keep your line. We'll come right back after this. We are back with Mayor Mitchell, and time is just slipping away here. We're within the last 15 minutes of the program, and a lot of folks want to chat with the mayor today,
Yeah,
so we're spending a lot of time on the phones. So
That's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's bring him on.
Right, 508-996-0500. You're up next. Thanks for hanging on. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on there. Hello? All right, you're next on WBSM. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Barry and the mayor.
Hey, how are you, Steve?
Mayor, I have to ask you this question. I'm on the other side of the issue, Barry will tell you, with arming the teachers for the schools. But I have to tell you, in your response to the fact that they should be able to go out and protest, listen, I told my daughter, she's a junior, I said, you go out and protest, I'll ground you for a month. Okay? Because I don't want her going out protesting about abortion and the right to life. I want her to go to school to get an education. She's got the rest of her life to do this. But I have to tell you, Mayor, they're out there. I get that they're out there protesting. Let's take their protest seriously. Can you honestly tell me that if the rules were followed, and this gentleman time and time again had red flags, and repeatedly the red flags were not brought up, that this would have that this incident would have happened? Because I have to tell you, if we ban those guns that we're talking about, the whatever they are, those semi-automatics, he's going to find something else to do, just like this kook who's in Austin who's making bombs. And we still haven't fixed the problem of protecting the schools. And I'll sit back and listen.
All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
And by the way, I'll answer the question, but I was down there in Austin when these bombs were going off.
Yeah, no, suddenly you disappeared, huh?
Yeah, that's right. And then you're back here. So I've got a little explaining to do. Yeah, no, I mean, my mother called me up and said, "Are you okay? You're in Austin." I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She said, "All these bombs." I thought my mother was like making it up or something, but yeah, no, it was, and I was with the mayor of Austin talking to him like a couple of minutes before, so he disappeared for the rest of the day. Now I know why, but yeah, I'm not. So I guess his question is about, if law enforcement's doing its job, shouldn't these things be?
Well, in this particular case, I mean,
it's hard to say, but yeah, I mean, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback these things, and sometimes there are occasions where there are all sorts of red flags, and there's something that could be done. But we've seen other instances of these mass shootings where there weren't any red flags. I might get this one wrong, but it's like the guy in Las Vegas who was in whichever hotel it was, Excalibur or whatever hotel it was when Mandalay Bay shot all those people, 50-something people at a concert. If I remember the reporting on that right, there really weren't any red flags on that guy, at least major red flags. And I think people also have to understand too that there are red flags and then there are red flags. Law enforcement gets all sorts of tips in all the time, and
well, the FBI had been notified 3 times specifically about this guy, and as recently as mid-January, that this kid was. And
it may have been. They may have screwed up in that particular instance, but I'm just saying it's not the case all the time that you can see these things coming, right? So, and sometimes the information comes in and it's like, yeah, you're told. In retrospect, it looks like you're told, but
to his larger point that he told his daughter, you don't walk out of school, you stay in school, you're going to school to get an education and do these things after
to that
school
point,
or during another time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you, and I just think that an hour out of school isn't that big of a deal. I mean, we have, in the case of New Bedford, we have longer school days, at least at the high school and certain other schools, and so yeah, we want to make and I think the school department does a good job in making the most of available learning time. So in the big scheme of things, no, it's not. We had kids last week at the State of the City address who were, took an hour out of their day to go, go to that. So these things happen, and it's left to I think the judgment of administrators on how to manage those things.
A couple of things before we run out of time here. Councillor Gomes was on the program Monday and was really angry with you because he took something that you said on the program last week to heart. We were talking about the whether or not there should be participation in a class action suit against the companies that make opioid-based drugs. And I guess somewhere in that conversation you said if we're going to do this, it's got to matter. It's got to be worth our while. It can't be just this is a great way to go out and make headlines or whatever. Mm-hmm. He felt as though that was directed at him, that you thought that you were singling him out and saying, here's a guy looking to make headlines with this.
No. No,
Okay.
it wasn't. I mean, you were listening to it. I don't think you would interpret it that way. No, we're talking more generally about lawsuits in the. I don't know why you would think that, but I don't know. I mean, did you ask him whether he actually heard my words?
Well, he
directly?
did hear the show, and I guess he talked about it the following night.
Yeah, he went off and made
meeting.
a number of personal attacks on me, which is unfortunate that he descended to that level. But no, it had nothing to do with him specifically. I think it's an idea worth looking at. That's why I said we've been looking at it for about 3 or 4 months now. I'm not brushing it off at all. All I'm saying is that it is, it's a decision that is going to cost the city something, and you have to figure out whether it's worth the cost to take on in the long run. So, some cities have jumped into it, and there have been mayors who have done it just for the headlines, in my view, without really thinking about the implications for the city's bottom line. So, and we'll continue to do that. And I'm not going to make a snap judgment on it, but no, I mean, it had nothing to do with him in particular.
All right, another big thing is this weekend's half marathon. What, the 31st year, I think it is?
No, it's more than that. It's, when was it, 1978-ish? No, I forget. I'm trying to remember. 37?
John's writing it down over there.
41. 41. Yeah,
Wow, both off, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, we've got to work on the route. We're going to be focusing on the route this week as we remove snow and fill in potholes. And we've been through this drill before. We've had to fill in a lot of potholes along the route so that nobody sprains an ankle. But and hopefully most of it will be melted by the time the race starts. So it's a great event. I encourage people to come on out. Even better, I think. I'll just say this: it would be even better, an even better event that. Despite the snow, we have a really good turnout up and down the city. I think the runners will be impressed. They'll think like, oh, those people in New Bedford come out no matter what. Despite the piles of snow, they're out supporting us. So I think the weekend weather is going to be okay. And so please come on up and support the runners, cheer them on. It takes a lot to run 13 miles, and it's always great to hear. If you're in one of those races, great to hear people cheering you on.
All right, let me take the last break. We'll come back. We'll have a couple of moments. Stay tuned. You're listening to 1420 WBSM. And we are back. Now we're back, and we've got a couple of moments left for the mayor. Let's grab some more calls. 508-996-0500. You're up next on WBSM. Go ahead.
Hi, Barry. Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
I just want to compliment the guys cleaning the streets. I've been home on and off due to the flu virus, so I've been able to see how they're working. And they worked hard.
They do.
All right, excellent. You know what? I'm going to move on to the next one because we've got only nanoseconds left.
She's right, and I appreciate those.
Always a good when somebody calls out the guys and gals that work hard. You're up next on WBSM. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, it's going to be quick. You approved the walkout for kids in school, and it's all backed up by the unions and other organizations. Why don't they, also do the same thing in protest of the thousands of over 4,000 teens that died of car accidents last year because they were texting or distracted? Why don't we have these demonstrations for this kind of stuff that thousands of more kids? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate your call.
Yeah, well, I can't speak for the kids, but I think that makes sense for them to be talking about that. It might actually make their peers safer. So whether it's a demonstration or just some sort of sensitivity training or some sort of outreach or that's an issue they should be talking about in high schools.
You're up next with the mayor. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I'm talking about the children and teachers walking out of school today.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel that this doesn't do anything to correct a problem. So my question, don't you think that children really need to learn how to have meaningful discussions, understand and be tolerant to the differences in everyone's opinions, to be part of a team, learn how to work together and make changes in a peaceful manner? Because educators and parents are in a really unique position to foster this behavior over what's being displayed today.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Yeah, we should be encouraging civil discourse among our kids, but I do think that this is actually some of that. I'm glad. So before you have a civil discourse, you have to be interested in having the conversation at all. And I think the big problem among today's youth is apathy. And so, to the extent that they are actually speaking up about something, I think in general is a good thing.
All right, appreciate your call, my friend, and that's going to do it. A lot of calls today, a lot of interest.
Yeah, good.
So
that's good stuff.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll see you back here next week. Are you going back to Austin, or?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. We'll see you at the marathon.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd lay low in Austin, right? I think they're looking for you. They got an APB out for you. All right, we're going to take a break for the news. We'll be back on the other side. Stay with us.